Yeah, here we are creating two tables. One is author and books, and we are going to discuss the concept of foreign keys and a relationship between the tables. So I just am in the process of creating the tables. So I'm deciding the columns that goes into the tables. So if we want to create an author table, let us think. We want to store all the author information into a table. So how we can do? We can create author ID and we can specify what it is, and we can say it is primary key and it should be not null, and author name. So I am just saying name or author name or author, you can say author name, and it is varchar, and I can take somewhere around 100. That is the length of the characters. And then I can have some other thing like author ID, author name, and let us keep other thing like city. Okay, varchar, and I can have 50 as the city name. So let us think these are the some details of an author. Let us think there are two authors like Mukharjee. Mukharjee, on Mukharjee name there are two authors. Let us think if you don't have the author ID. Let us think we don't have the author ID. If there are two Mukherjees, and if I keep the author name here, like if we make a relationship between these two using the author name, then what happens? Then there will be like, we don't know which Mukherjee he belongs, like the record belongs to. There can be 2 to 3 Mukherjees also, right? So that's the conflict. So for that sake, we will keep a primary unique column. Okay, a primary column which is a unique. We will define a primary key on every table to make it a unique. Okay, so that we can use that ID instead of giving the city or author name or different things as the primary key. Okay, we just use that author ID as the key, and we can make a relationship to the other table. So I want to make a relationship to from author table to the books table. Okay, so how I can do? So I can say foreign key relationship between these two tables. So how I can do? I can add a foreign key relationship. Okay, so how to add it is, don't sorry, author ID, foreign key, I think foreign key, author ID, references. Okay, foreign key. Just I forgot the syntax, but I will show you how to write. Okay, author ID. Okay, let's go and create the authors table first. So we understand the query window understands the thing. Okay, I'm just creating the authors table. So authors table is created. Let's refresh our tables. So we are able to see the authors table and the columns here, author ID, author name, and city, which we defined. And this is a primary key and not null. Okay, so I want to make author ID as a foreign key relationship from this table. Okay, so this is a main table, which is a primary key, and here we need to introduce the foreign key. So I remember foreign key, add foreign key. Okay, references foreign key constraint. So foreign key, and yeah, what I wrote is little bit right only. Yeah, so just got confused. Yeah, foreign key author ID references books dot, sorry, authors dot author ID. So yeah, authors of author ID. Yeah. So that means we are making the author's author ID as a foreign key to the author ID. Means what? Let us think we have 5 records in the author's table, and the records are like this: author 1, author 2, author 3, author 4, author 5. So we have 5 records in the author's table. Then you cannot have any other value into the books table for the author ID except the 5, which already in the foreign key relationship. We will see all those things, but this is how we can make a relationship between the 2 columns, between 2 tables. Okay, so author ID is referring to the author's table author ID. So you can have a foreign key relationship like this. So I can create a foreign key like this. So I'm just going and running this query. Okay. So after I run this query, you can see a table gets created. Okay. So a table's name books got created. And what are the columns? Book ID and title and author ID. You can also see a symbol here. Okay. So what this symbol represents is it is a primary key. It is PK. Whereas this symbol says it is a foreign key. Foreign key means it is a key that we are borrowing from other table. Okay. So this table is using the key of other table. Then we will say it is a foreign key. So we can create a foreign key like this. Okay. So that's how we can add a foreign key. Now I want to insert some values into the table. Okay. So into both authors table as well as the books table. Let us insert some record into the authors table. Insert, how to insert? Insert into authors, then you need to insert the values. You can specify whatever you want to insert. So what are the columns we have in the authors table? Author ID, name, city. Okay. So you can specify author ID, comma, author name, comma, city, then values, then you need to specify the value. Okay. So I'm just saying 101 as the author ID, author name as Mukharjee, okay, and city as Delhi, okay, and I want to give another author 102, and now I want to give Benerjee, and he's from Calcutta. Then I want to give another author, not 3, Netaji, and he is also from, let us take, he is from Patna. So these are the things we want to add. And apart from this, let us add these first. Okay, so I'm just executed these. 3 rows got affected. I want to select all the records. Select star from authors, Okay. You can see all the records 102, 103, 102, 103, 101. Mukharjee, Benerjee, Netaji. Let us think I want to add one more record. Okay, let's add one more record. So I'm just saying, okay. So I want to add one more record on, let us say 103, I'm just giving. And I want to have something called Robin. And he is from Hyderabad. And I want to add the Robin to the authors table. Does it get inserted or does it violate any constraint according to you? So we have
ID is primary key, right?
Yeah. So ID is primary key, which should be unique. If we want to insert the same, it violates the constraint. So you can see it is a primary key violation. Okay, primary key violation. You cannot have a duplicate key. So we cannot have Robin from Hyderabad. We can have if we have a different ID, 104 or 105, whatever, but we go by sequence. So we will see how to do an auto sequence also going forward. But so like that, you can have another record also. Okay, we are inserted Robin also. Now let us think we want to add books to the books table. So how to do that? Insert into books. What are the columns inside the books table? Book ID and title and author ID. Okay. Okay. So and values, and I need to provide the values. So we know that there are 4 people or 4 authors in the author table. We can use those. Okay, let us start with the book ID 101. Okay, or 1001. Let us start with 1000 series, 1001, and book title. Let us name this book as okay, book 1. Let us say keep it book 1 or some title. Yeah, Passage to India. Okay, I don't know who wrote this. So and author ID. Let us try keeping 103. Okay, what happens? Let us see. Perfect, it got inserted. And select star from books. If I do this, what happens? See, I get one row. Author, the book is ID is 1001, Passage to India, and author ID is 103. Let us think I want to insert null into the author ID column. What happens? I want to insert another record, whereas I want to make a null into this Passage to USA. Let us think. And I want to insert null. Does it take?
No.
Okay, let's check. Okay, it took. Okay, so it will take.
ID is foreign.
Yeah, so foreign key can be null. Foreign key can be null. Let us think. I want to insert another record, Passage to UK, and I want to do another null. Will it take? Will it take? So Passage to USA, and now I am doing 103 Passage to UK. Yes, it will take. So it will take null into the foreign key. Okay, but not to the primary key. That means we don't know whom to assign the author. It can be null. Okay, so it can be null. So that's one thing you need to remember. Okay, 102. Okay, so yeah, Okay, I want to update with the for the 102 and 103. So I want to do an update saying that I know who the author is. So update books, and then I want to say set author ID to 106, let us say 106, where book ID is 102, 1002. What happens? So let me select the authors. Okay, select star from authors. So okay, now I have authors 101, 102, 103, 104, right? So I want to set the author ID to 106. What happens for author for the book ID 1002? Will it work or will it throw an error?
It works.
Okay, any other guess? Okay, actually it throws an error saying that foreign key constraint is violated. Means the author ID, it can take only those 4 which are already in the table. We cannot put any other author ID other than these IDs. Okay, if you want 106, you need to either add to the table and you can use that author. If you don't know, you can put null. Okay, but you cannot keep another author ID. You cannot violate it. Okay, so that's the rule. The rule is that it should be from the table. It can be null if you don't know. Okay, the rule is that it should be from that authors table because we made a relationship between both of them. So this is how foreign key relationship works. So if I want to do 104, will it work?
Yeah.
Will this? Yes, this works.
Yeah.
So this works. So now I will select from books table. What will happen? So what happens? Let I select from this table. You can see
1002.
102 is assigned to 104. Okay. Okay. So you understood the basic concept of foreign key relationship. Okay. Pictorially, I want to show you something between these tables. Okay. So here I'm going here. See here, database diagrams. Okay, I don't know why I'm not able to. Yes, it is asking me to create one. Just creating one database diagram. It will take some time actually. Okay. Yeah, it is asking me which tables you want. For now, I am picking only authors and the books table. I can also pick participants. Okay, let's pick participants too. Okay, I picked all of them and I'm just adding all of them. So what happens, you see, there will be some magic. Okay, close. So you see there is a participants table and the key here, which shows that it is a primary key. Authors table, there is a author ID, which is primary key. Books table, book ID, which is a primary key. And there is a relationship between these two tables, saying that we borrowed author ID from the authors table. Okay, always the key goes to the yellow key, goes to here. Okay, So if you want to see the relationship, see foreign key books author ID, like between authors and books table. Okay, like that you can also edit the relationship. But how this is how it works. You can create a diagram if you want. Like you can create a diagram and you can see how it looks just for your analysis. So let us think. Now we understood what is authors table, what is books table, what is a relationship between those two tables, how to add a foreign key, and what does a foreign key violation mean. Foreign key violation means we cannot have an author which is not existing in the author table. We cannot have another ID which is not existing. We can have a null if you don't know. Okay, that's how it looks. Okay, now what is the other thing we can use using the foreign key relationship is we can select from both the tables. How to do that I will show you. Let us think I want to select from both the tables. I can say select star from books next, and I should say join, left join, or I would be using left join for now. Left join authors. Okay, and on what I want to do, I want to join books and authors using the author ID. We can join only on the foreign key relationships. So I'm taking book as B, author as A. So B dot, now you can say B dot author ID is equal to 1 equal to is good. A dot author ID. So you're joining the authors table on the author ID. You're joining both the tables like books table and authors table. And you can say here star or B dot star, comma A dot star. You can do anything you want. Okay. Or you can select only few records if you want. Okay. For now, I am taking everything. So what does this do? Just see. Okay. Sorry. So book ID 1, passage to India 103. Here is the author ID. Here's the name and he's from Patna. You can see the second book is by author 104. He's Robin. He's from Hyderbad. And the third book, that is 1003, the book name is Passage to UK, and there is no author assigned, so we cannot see any other relationship or a record mapped here. Okay, what happens if I change this to like this, like a dot star? I can do these interchangeably. There is nothing wrong. I just see here. So I'm joining authors table and books table. Authors A joins books B, whereas A dot author ID, this can be anything, like you can say A dot author ID to B dot author ID or B dot author ID to A dot author. There is nothing wrong actually. Yeah, so let us see what is the difference between these two tables. Then you will understand the left join concept. Okay, see. So in the first query, you can see all the books and their associate authors or their foreign key authors or their mapped authors. Whereas in the second query, you can see all the authors and their associated books. If they have a book, then they will be mapped here. Okay, so 10, Robin wrote a book called Passage to USA. Netaji wrote a book called Passage to India. And Benerjee has not written any book, or Mukharjee has not written any book. So all the authors and their books. All the books and their authors. Okay, you might have a question. What is the case if I want to have an author write more books? An author can write many books, right? So I want to do that. So how to do that? Okay. So let us put another record for Netaji, like 103. Let us put another record. So, okay. So 104, now passage to Bangladesh. And we want to have 103. Okay, now Netaji is going to write another book apart from passage to India. He is going to write passage to Bangladesh. Okay. Now let us select these records and see what happens. See. So you can see Netaji record here. He wrote 2 books, right? So here we listed all the authors and their associate books. Here we listed all the books and their associate authors. So this is how it looks. So left join says that list all the things from the left side and their associate from the right. Okay. Left join says get all the records from the left and their associate records from the right. If nothing gets associated, it will put null. So that's how it looks. So this is about foreign key relationship and left join. Okay. Do you have any other questions on today's class?
No, as of now. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So this is very, very important class actually. Okay. So you have any questions, please practice these. I will put these queries as part of the video description. You can take from there and practice these queries. By now, you should be able to understand a little concept on what is unique key, what is not null, what is primary key, what is foreign key, and how to create records, how to create tables, and how to insert records, and how to update the records. Okay, and you should know how to delete the records and how to query the records, how to do a where class, how to update the records, and how to join the tables too. So this is for today's class, and see you in the next class tomorrow. And till then, have a good day. Bye.
Yeah,
Thank
bye.
you.